Hey, I'm Hagar. Welcome to Mama Mandala, where magic is somatic. This is a place where we play around with our bodies as a magic tool. Our body is where transformation happens, right? This is where we make changes. Even though we think, so funny how sometimes we separate the brain from the heart and from the body when really we are one system that, in my humble opinion, what we want to do is integrate the different parts of ourselves. So we think of our work on our mind as separate from the body when in fact, where does the mind live? Just a question, right? Like our mind, our brain, our neural pathways that we try to make nuance when, especially when it comes to certain conversations that we have with ourselves and certain patterns and habits of behavior that we want to change. It's a part of the brain. It's a part of your body. So the magic of transformation happens in an embodied way. The body is our wand and our pendulum and our divination tool and the fire of transmutation, right? This is where it all happens. And so I wanted us to jump into the magic of a soft heart because the world is going through a lot, always and all the time. It seems like the last few years have been a lot for a lot of us. There's a war going on right now. A lot of us are really devastated by it. Those of us who are watching it from afar are devastated and really horrified. Those who are going through it, we don't need to even ask ourselves, but we know that that's really difficult. So it's hard not to harden. It's difficult not to create some kind of almost like an immunity to our system that we're just not going to let the world in. We're going to just focus on our own little lives. Some people say it's very privileged. I think in some ways to some people, sometimes yes, and to some people and other times taking care of our little lives is what we have to do in order to be healthy and in order to be then of service to something greater than ourselves. So there's a spectrum, right? There's a way for us to move in and out of our engagement with the world. But one thing I noticed, and I've been noticing it in the recent events in the last few months, is that people's hearts are hardened, either because they just don't want to look at it anymore and they just can't hear about it anymore, or they harden toward one side of the conflict. And then, no matter what anyone says, there's a stuckness, and a stuckness in the way of thinking and therefore in the way of feeling. And that, if you ask me, is dangerous. So to keep ourselves open so that we can also see things from different angles is really important. And I think this is one aspect of spiritual practice, yoga practice in this case, for us in this moment, is necessary in order for us to stay healthy, in order for us to stay compassionate, to keep ourselves open. Not open in such a way that we become pushovers. Not open in such a way where we lack strength. And you'll see, we're going to work for a moment, for a few minutes, with an action or two actions in the body that to me feel like an open heart from the front and the back of it. And also it ends up, it's very subtle, so bear with me, it also might end up strengthening muscles for you. We're going to use two different bones, four really, because two on each side, in order to create an action. Let's just do this, okay? To create an action that ends up causing certain muscles to engage. So an opening that actually ends up strengthening us. Go ahead and put your hands on the top of your chest. I have the mic here, so it makes it harder. You're gonna put your hands on the tops of your chest and bring your thumbs to, can you feel the bone of your arm, the arm bone basically, right? Your arm bone. And then can you feel your collarbones? And then when you put the thumb, as your hands rest on your chest, the thumbs on the inner part of the top part, the head, of your arm bone. Can you do that? Can you feel it? Breathe for a moment here. You can let your eyes soften. You can close your eyes. You can keep your eyes open, whatever feels natural for you right now. And then in a very subtle way, you don't need to do it strongly at all. This is a subtle kind of practice. Draw, without actually moving it, draw energetically the inner part of the heads of your arm bones toward each other in the center, in the top of your chest. And keep the inner part of the heads of your arm bones pulling in as you also simultaneously broaden through your collarbones. And it's two things that seemingly negate each other, but can you feel what that does? Let's do that for a moment. Let's breathe with that for a moment. The inner part of the heads of the arm bones draw towards each other in the front of your body. And then the collarbones broaden. You can let your eyes close if they want to close. And breathe slow. Inner part of the head of the arm bone pulling toward each other. And collarbones broadening. Breathe slow. Begin to tone the back of your throat, Ujjayi breath. Notice if you're over-efforting it or if you're totally checked out and actually not doing it. I know it's subtle, but I believe in you. You can do this. You can turn yourself a little softer so that a softer kind of an action can move through you and teach you something and show you something and reveal something for you. I'm feeling things. I don't know about you. The inner part of the heads of the arm bone pulling in. Collarbones broadening. See if you can maintain those two actions as you inhale and reach your arms up. The collarbones broadening as the inner part of the heads of the arm bones moving towards each other. Exhale, keep that as you slowly lower your hands through the front of your head, through the front of your heart. Still the inner part of the heads of the arm bones pulling in as the collarbones broadening. Release your arms and inhale, reach up. See how that demands a slow movement. Because as you move your arms, can you still draw the inner part of the heads of the arm bones towards each other as you broaden through your collarbones? I feel when I do that, hands together through the front of your face to the front of your heart with your exhalation, that my core is strengthening. Weirdly so. Release your arms. And again, inner part of the heads of the arm bones draw towards each other. Inhale the arms up as the collarbones broaden. What else does that do? Notice in your body. Exhale, join the hands through the front of your face and to the front of your heart. Inner part of the heads of the arm bones pulling in towards each other. Collarbones broadening. Release your arms and one more time. Inhale and reach your arms up high. And exhale, lower your hands through the front of your face and to the front of your heart. The heart opens through this action, but in a subtle way without losing the strength of what needs to also protect it. Inhale and reach your arms up high. Inner part of the arm bones draw in. Collarbones widen. Keep that as you exhale and bend your knees. Reach your arms to the sides and fold forward, chest forward, hips back. Fingertips to the floor. Inner part of the heads of the arm bones pulling in towards each other. Collarbones broadening. Inhale and look forward. Keep that action. Exhale, fall back in. Can you maintain that through the movement? Go ahead and stretch your legs straight or straighter. You can also, if you can't touch the floor with your fingertips, if it's too much, go ahead and put your hands on a block or on the wall, even on a chair. So lean on something if you need support. Inhale and look forward. Inner part of the heads of the arm bones pulling in as the collarbones broaden. I feel that action as I move my chest forward all the way into my hips. Exhale, fold back in. Maintain the pulling of the inner Heads of the arm bones in and the collarbones widen. One more time, inhale and look forward. Keep that going. Exhale, fold back and notice the kind of focus and attention that requires. It's a strength. Inhale, look forward. Inner part of the heads of the arm bones draw in, collarbones widen. Exhale, step your left foot back. Deep breath in. Exhale, plant your hands and step back to downward facing dog as you draw the inner part of the heads of the arm bones towards each other and broaden through your collarbones. Notice what that does to the weight of your hands on the earth. Inhale, bring your knees to the floor. Inner part of the heads of the arm bones drawing in, collarbones widening. Exhale, keep that action, those actions as you bring your hips forward and down into Cobra. And your heart is open here, but can you feel how when you draw the inner part of the heads of the arm bones towards each other and your collarbones broaden, how your heart is not just opening forward and you're pulling your chest forward and it's like this deep, big back bend. No, there's also an expansion and an engagement and a broadening and an opening in the back of your heart. Deep breath in, hands rooted. Exhale, stretch up and back into downward facing dog. Hands are rooted into the earth. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Inner part of the heads of the arm bones drawing towards each other, collarbones widening. Exhale, bring your foot forward in between your hands. Bring your left knee to the floor. You can put a blanket underneath your knee or fold your mat if you have sensitive knees. And then with an inhalation, Anjaneya Asana, reach your arms up high and draw the inner part of the heads of the arm bones towards each other as your collarbones broaden. Does that do something to your back leg? Does that affect in any way your hips? Breathe slowly as you lengthen through your spine and continue to draw inner heads of the arm bones towards each other and broaden through your collarbones. Deep breath in. Exhale, keep those actions in your transitions as you bring your fingertips to the floor, back knee up, back foot forward. Uttanasana, forward bend. Inhale and look forward. Keep that going. Inner heads of the arm bones towards each other, collarbones widen. Exhale, step your right foot back, fingertips framing your front foot, lengthen your spine. Deep breath in. Inner heads of the arm bones drawing towards each other, collarbones widen. And keep that action as you plant your hands, inner edge of your hands, rooted to the floor, downward facing dog, fingertips rooted to the floor. Can you feel the focus doing something to your heart space, to the emotional space? Inhale, bring your knees to the floor. How well-roundedly can you open up your heart? Exhale, bring your hips down and your chest forward and up. Opening doesn't mean the kind of softness that propels a state of weakness. Openness requires great strength because something can flow into you, which means you are a vessel that's strong enough to hold it. Deep breath in. Inner heads of the arm bones drawing towards each other, collarbones widen. Exhale, tuck your toes, stretch up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And in your transition, maintain those actions. Inners of the arm bones moving towards each other, collarbones widen. Inhale the right leg up, left leg up, sorry. Exhale, bring your foot forward in between your hands. And through this transition of the foot going forward, maintain those actions. Right knee to the floor, inhale. Reach your arms up. Inner heads of the arm bones drawing towards each other as your collarbones widen. And the collarbone widening doesn't just, do you feel how it takes you in two directions in a multi-dimensional kind of an experience in your body? And that's what, in a way, an open heart invites us into. Because an open heart requires a heart that's open toward ourselves, which means we're going to also take care of ourselves as we let the world in. It's a well-rounded invitation. Deep breath in. Exhale, touch the floor. In the transition, maintain it. Inner heads of the arm bones run towards each other. Collarbones widen. Right knee up, back foot forward. Uttanasana. Have weight on the balls of your feet as much as you do on your heels. And your legs can be straight if that feels good. Feels really good for me, so I'm going to keep it. If you need to bend your knees and let your belly rest on your thighs, do that. Whatever you need right now. And hold your elbows with opposite hands as you draw here. The inner head of the arm bones towards each other and broaden through your collarbones as you breathe and let your spine hang. An open heart requires engagement and discernment. Not everything necessarily can come in through that open door. It doesn't mean there's no boundary around it. It just means that we're not closing off, building a wall, and not letting the world in. In some ways we have no choice. The world comes in as we breathe in, the world flows in, and we impact the world. We breathe out, we touch it, we change it. Ground through the legs. Inhale, come up. You can bend your knees on the way up. Circle the arms up. Inner heads of the arm bones towards each other as your collarbones widen. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. And let your eyes be soft or closed as you stand here with Anjali Mudra. The heart's deepest offering is expressed through this mudra, through this hand gesture. And the heart is soft. And its softness is expressed through strength, through the continuation of the pumping of blood through the system, working with substance that receives from the outside, alchemizes, feeds, transmutes, and shifts as it flows back out, emptying out whatever is not needed in this system. And so through the openness of our heart, we become a powerful channel and may this power of your channel serve your own well-being as well as something greater than you. May we use our strength and our openness to create meaningful relationships. Thank you for joining me, and I hope this was in somewhat helpful. And if it was, put a like on the video, will you? And if it was, also subscribe to this channel, because there's deep, powerful explorations that we do here. And also check us out on mamamandala.com and sign up for our mailing list where we go even deeper. Okay, so thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you soon. Mwah. Namaste.